Brodes Media.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Let's talk about the weekend, huh? Taking two from the Detroit Tigers, getting to experience Duran twice, and the masterpiece that is 103 miles per hour thrown right at your throat. Well, in the batter's box, but that's what I'm sure it feels like, is this dude is coming at you and you can't do a damn thing about it. What a ridiculous feeling for all of us to get to sit back and see a ninth where you know the game is wrapped up. You don't have to worry. Remember those feelings of getting tight? Remember those feelings of walking around the couch with a pit filled with anxiety? Your stomach is rumbling and you want to throw up? Never again. Now, if you don't have Sanchez going 8 shoddy, then maybe we have to worry in the 6th, in the 7th, if your starter can't compete that long. But wow, the intensity that he brings is outrageous. And that's why when we were all thrown around prior to the deadline, which direction do they need to go? And some said they didn't have to worry about a closer. They didn't have to worry about attacking the bullpen. They must get someone in the lineup. I said no. They need both. But what you can't do is act as if targeting someone in the bullpen with this type of fire, who is this fierce, is not what they needed. They needed this. They don't win these 2 games without him. You might go 1-2 this weekend without him. You needed this. Now, maybe Sanchez, with his pitch count so low and really only having to wiggle out of 2 traffic jams, would have got the 9th and you would have won that game anyway with the way he was throwing, maybe. But again, how long can you rely on complete game shutouts to carry you if we're talking about winning a World Series? That's not happening in the postseason. You needed Duran. You see the difference when Duran is here. Hell, Friday, that was special. Friday was so awesome that I had to come down here on a Friday night and just pour my heart out for 35 minutes after 24 hours before I was destroying Dave Dombrowski, saying I've never been more aggravated with the Phillies franchise in my life. Which is not true, because we are a losing organization and there has been way more abysmal times. But damn it, I was pissed. But that night, I said, I don't care about anything. Nothing else matters. That was glorious. That was a movie. That was special. And we got a taste of that again on Sunday. Now, it comes with frustration because I am bothered that they make someone like, who was on the mound on Sunday? Come on. Charlie Morton with a 5+ ERA. Why do we only have an RBI ground out through 8 innings? Max Kepler rolls it over to the first base side, and everyone's got to clap like they're happy, but they all hate him, but it scores a run. And, the offense, and even on Saturday, and look, I get it. You're going up against one of the nastiest pitchers in all of baseball. You're throwing Zach Wheeler, to be fair, so, it's a pitching ace duel. But are you allowed to hit elite starting pitching? Yes, you better be allowed. You better be able to, because that's what you're going to see in the postseason. Like, they were getting to Wheels. Now, Wheels wasn't as sharp as he is normally accustomed to being, but they were rocking Wheeler. They got to him. They hit it out of the ballpark. You eventually got to their ace. What was he, in the 7th when Nick Castellanos hit the home run to score a couple of runs? I think JT had an RBI in there as well. So you were down big forever. You look lost, non-competitive at-bats and this and that. And, while they did fight back and the Matt Strahm Fair ball came back to bite you because Bryce hit a 2-run blast of his own, and he ended up losing. I get aggravated with that part of this. I do. I get aggravated that you can't hit great elite starting pitching. You have to. I mean, enough with the, well, you just got to tip your cap, and what are you going to do? This guy's great. No. You have to. I don't know what to tell you. You have to. And then when you get the nobodies, you're making them look like Cy Young guys too. You have to. So Friday in a vacuum was incredible and awesome. As the weekend expanded, they did win the series. 2 thumbs up for that. And you could tell that there is something brewing with the Duran acquisition. With Bader, well, again, Saturday's his first day at the office as a starter. He goes 0 for 4. Tough day to see someone on the other side, but you gotta. And it does feel to me, and maybe this will settle in a little bit, I think he wants to make an impact. He wants to do something. He wants the crowd to rise and have a spark and get excited, almost as if he's doing too much to try and make it happen, and it's understandable. I think his heart's in the right place, but he's got to just let the game come to him. I saw a couple of the at-bats, and he wants it big time. He wants to attack. He wants to make a play. He wants to get a hit. He wants to be the guy. You know, he wants to be the moment. And that's great. Some guys shy away from it and shit their pants. Seems like he's willing to take it on. He just needs to execute. We'll see. As of now, the Bader stuff has been what I expected the Bader stuff to be. Underwhelming production. Sunday, you win the game 2 rip. Kyle Schwarber in the 8th gives us that little extra cushion. And I was kind of interested to see what a 1-0 Duran would feel like. I'll take the 2 rip. I prefer the 2 rip. I'll always take added insurance. But there was a part of me talking myself into, all right, Brodes, sink into the couch for a 9th. 1-0. Let's see it. And 2 changes the ball game insanely. Now, I still think he would have done it, and he still would have gotten it. But, you know, listen, it's the second time. This is why you're brought in here. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see him go out there and shove. I wanted to see him go out there and dominate with no wiggle room whatsoever. But he got it, and I prefer that. But you know how it goes. As you're watching, you're sort of projecting ahead, and you think the stars are going to align this way, so you mentally prepare for it, and then obviously the baseball gods say, no, because here's Kyle Schwarber, one of the best to ever do it. This guy is sickening. And as much as I wonder about running it back with an old core, and JT Realmuto probably needs to be brought back because there's no other alternative, and Kyle Schwarber, you can't have walk, but there's no way in hell I'm running it back with the same group if I don't think they're good enough now. As much as I can talk big picture about the scariness of that, Kyle Schwarber has to be in a Phillies uniform. I think John Middleton knows that. I think John Middleton is prepared to make him an offer that he just can't refuse. And I think he knows the fan base is on thin ice with a lot of how it's being operated. He listens to WIP. He's not afraid to say it. He's a fan. He's someone who's been around a long time. He's a part of the community. I think he knows exactly where the frustration is with this fan base. And if you add that, you're throwing fire on gasoline. And there's no Justin Crawford, and there's no anybody that you're going to bring up that's going to satisfy people enough to allow for you to shove Kyle Schwarber out the door and he walks to a different squad. Sorry. Speaking of Justin Crawford, they got him dancing around now, playing left field. I think the Phillies are lost with this. I do. I think the Phillies are very out of touch with reality with Justin Crawford, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't. They don't know what they're doing in some aspects with how they're handling this outfield. I think they have a collection of guys, and on the fly, they're trying their best to figure out what to do, even though it's pretty simple. Max Kepler's not good enough. I don't know. Rojas not good enough. They have a lot of guys that aren't good enough, and they're trying to make it work, but that's not. And one thing that keeps hitting me hard is, do they feel that Justin Crawford isn't good enough, and that's why they're in this predicament? Because if he was good enough, then there's no argument to be made. Right? What do you have to lose? I hear that all the time. I take calls 24/7. What do you have to lose? It can't be worse. You're right. It can't be worse. But if it's the same, then does that hurt whatever the stock is for Justin Crawford? Because whether you like it or not, part of the intrigue of prospects is exactly that. The intrigue of what they can be. And part of prospects isn't just coming up and being a force at the major league level, but it's also ammo. And more times than not, ammo is more productive at a prospects than anything they do on the diamond. And you still have to hold on to that. And you can't make any of these moves now. The trade deadline is over, but is that their forward thinking? But then they also tell you that he's ready. So I got no idea. And of course, they're not going to tell you that he's not ready because his numbers are his numbers. But the way they're vomiting out of their mouth with everything outfield related, it's not making sense. Normally, if you don't agree, you could see a plan. You can see an idea. You may not agree with said idea, but you can at least put the puzzle pieces together and understand this is how they're operating and this is the agenda and this is the goal they're trying to accomplish. I have no idea what they're trying to accomplish with this. None of it makes sense whatsoever, to the point where the only thing I could come up with is they just don't think he's ready. Yet he's slapping around 330 in AAA. But he can't lift the baseball. It's crazy. It really is. What else was crazy, though, was Sunday's defense and Mundo Sosa over at third with a nice play at home, throwing the ball at home with the ground ball that helped save a run. Bryson Stott with that glove at second base. He had a beauty going to his right and flashing the leather. And when Sosa was playing second base, not that I think Sosa's bad in the infield by any means. I think he does make a lot of good plays, although he pulled Bryce Harper off the bag there in the ninth. And I thought, oh no, here we go, man. We're shooting ourselves in the foot. The replay showed that Bryce did get his foot back on the bag with the replay by a 0.5 millimeter, and that was enough to overturn the call. But you see the difference when Sosa's playing second base compared to Stott playing second base. Stott's glove is so sick. It's so sick. By the way, is there a clicky noise happening in my microphone right now? 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2. 3, 3, 3. No. Okay. I don't know why I'm hearing something. I could be going delusional. So, the reaction on Sunday. I'll get to that in a second. First, you know what's super exciting? These Emilio cigars. You know what makes it even better? The fact that I can sit out back after a Duran ninth inning where my man throws 102, 101, 103, and it is so lovely. It is so beautiful. It reminds me of the taste of this Emilio cigar. And there's only one cigar to smoke, ladies and gentlemen. I'll say it again. There's only one cigar to smoke. So if you have a family party, if you are going golfing with the boys, if you want to just hang out and enjoy a nice summer night and relax and get away from the family for a little bit late night when everybody's down and sleeping, bada bing, bada boom, there's only one cigar to smoke. That is an Emilio cigar made at the Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. This is as legit as it gets. Locally owned, third generation. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to check out the link down below in the description. You're going to put everything you want into your shopping cart. You're going to utilize the code BRODES10 at checkout for 10% off of your purchase, and then you are going to fall in love with the greatest cigar ever. Okay? A lot of options, a lot of intrigue, but Emilio Cigars, they are the best. Right in front of me, and I wish I could grab them for you, but I'll show you next episode. Boxes and boxes of different Emilio Cigars. Dude, it is life-changing. All right, it was the greatest decision I've ever made to go Emilio Cigars. You should join me as well. Make sure you check out the link down below in the description. You can also go to your local tobacco shops and say, hey, Emilio Cigars. They're going to say, oh, you must have heard. And you go, yeah, Brodes. I'm like, oh, he's the best. Emilio Cigars are the best. Brodes is the best. There you go. Boom. I'm just saying. I'm also just saying that, so Sunday, after the 2-0 win, I saw the reaction. It was Sunday Night Baseball, so the broadcast hits differently than an NBC Sports Philadelphia broadcast, just because the nation is watching. It's more of a national draw. It's just a different viewing experience for sure. But there was a lot of fan reaction on social that reflected back to Friday, and it almost had that same pop and same juice as Friday. I didn't feel that. Now, I thought it was great. So if Friday was 10 out of 10, and maybe it was because it was the first, it's like, gentlemen, the first time you're able to do the, you know what I'm saying? You're in high school, hanging out with the lady friend, you both say it's time, you do. It's the first time, man. You go, holy hell. You don't know what the hell you're doing, but you go, holy hell. 10 out of 10. This is great. Right? So that was me on Friday. 10 out of 10. It's amazing. It's the first time I'm getting to watch Duran up there. He's doing great. This is awesome. I didn't feel that way Sunday. Now, some did. Some did. I didn't. Also, though, here's another thing to throw into the equation of my emotions on that day. It was SummerSlam night 2 for you WWE fans. So I had SummerSlam on the 75-inch TV. I had the Phillies off to the side on the secondary TV. Volume still up. None of the muted volume crap. This was a big game. I needed to see them win the series. And that could have absolutely been catastrophic if they lost and fell flat on their face post-deadline with bringing in Duran in the 9th. So it was popping, and it was the main focus late in the game. It was just on the secondary TV with the volume higher than the second TV normally gets. But I'm wondering, was I not on the edge of my seat, blood pumping, veins I could feel getting tense because I shifted and had some SummerSlam night 2 on at the same time? I don't know, but I didn't get a sense of it was a 10 out of 10. It was probably 7.5 out of 10 to stay on the same scale. It was great. Don't get me wrong. It's just his presence on Friday felt wow. Maybe I was just understanding that the wow is the wow. And now that I know the wow is the wow, it's not going to be as wow again unless it's, you know, a playoff game or a series against the Mets in Citi Field on the road. And you could feel Duran's presence taking the Mets' soul in the 9th inning in a couple of games in a row to take the series. That's where I think we can get back to that original. Do I want to go back and tie this together with having sex for the first time? Yes, I do, but I'm going to stay away because, you know, it could get nasty in a good way. Hey, let's go to the phone, shall we? Because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about anymore. Let's hear from the people.
103.7? Are you fucking kidding me?
Was that how high it went?
Oh, this is what I've been waiting for. I fucking love it. Let's go. But let's talk about the real star of this game, Christopher Sanchez. This guy's phenomenal. I would take him to start the playoff series. Wheeler is definitely the better all-around pitcher, but Sanchez's changeup is electric right now. And this offense sucks. Get bailed out by a Schwarber home run with 2 outs in the 8th is not how I imagined us to get an insurance run. They need to get their shit together on offense. But let's fucking go, Duran. That shit's electric. Go Phils.
It is electric. And yeah, a few things on that. So the Kyle Schwarber stuff, as much as I agree, it bothers me that we have to wait for a Kyle Schwarber nuke and a solo shot late in the game to give you that added cushion. That's also what makes Kyle Schwarber elite, is you have the power and the ability to get that extra run because of the greatness of Kyle. You want to challenge him? Good luck. It's going to the seats. And he could take it to left center field. He could go opposite way. He can pull it, and it's going to go to the third deck. Whatever you're going to put in his wheelhouse, he'll make sure you pay the price. So that is why we want to spend $1 billion on bringing Kyle Schwarber back at this stage of his career, knowing the excellence and knowing the sweetener that he can provide for you late in the game when you think it's going to be 1-0. It ends up being 2-0. That's why you have a Kyle Schwarber. So as much as it does bother me about the overall offense, that grabs me and captures me as a Kyle Schwarber fan. 2, Sanchez. Yeah, Sanchez is doing his thing. It's funny, as I'm watching, and I know it's not this simple, but I think to myself, if you're a hitter, like, why aren't you just waiting for the changeup? And they are, and they look that silly. But that's his pitch. It's got to be a changeup. Just be ready for the changeup. Sit and wait for the changeup. Wait, the changeup is coming. It's his nasty pitch. And they all look stupid every single swing. Of course, it's not that simple. It just makes me laugh because it seems very simple, but it's not. He's that nasty at it, and it's super gross. He was great. Now, some fans are mad at Rob Thompson for not giving him the 9th for the ability to have a complete game shut. He's already getting screwed by the All-Star game and this and that. And that doesn't bother me at all. This is fine. Going to a Duran in a 2-0 ball game in a series against the Tigers team that is, up there in the AL standings, and they're looked at as one of those teams this year that can make a deep push. And Sanchez, while he was only at 80-something pitches, 86, 84 in that range, he clearly had plenty of pitches left in the tank. One of the things we're dealing with right now is Zach Wheeler not looking the same since his complete game. And I love Wheels. I think Wheels is going to figure it out. He's a tick off. He talks about his command a little bit and just not being as precise as he normally is. But overall, there could be a correlation with asking these pitchers, especially at this stage of the year, after some of the postseason runs that they have made. Not that Sanchez has been in the same position as a Wheeler or any of the other top dogs, but you got to prioritize that and realize that here is a opportunity to get him out after 8 scoreless at 80-something pitches instead of pushing him to 98, instead of pushing him to 101. He gets out of there at the mid-80s, and Duran comes in. That's why he's here. He's here to win ball games for you. And God forbid Rob Thompson allows Sanchez to go in there after the acquisition of Duran, and there's an inning where he allows the first 2 base runners on. And there were a couple of those throughout. Now, we was able to get a double play, make a good play with his own glove, throw it to second base, turn 2. He was able to get out of a couple jams, but I have no issue. No, you're telling me after 8 shutty from your starter, you go to your elite closer who throws 103. I can't get mad at Rob Thompson. For that, that's just people who are never going to agree with anything Rob Thompson does. Those are the people that, when Rob Thompson makes the right decision, you just hate it because you hate any decision made by Rob Thompson. He did the right thing. And it's one of those things where if it backfired, and let's say Duran hypothetically did screw up, which, please, but if he did, it was still the right decision. Still the right decision. It's about winning the baseball game and putting the team in the best position to win the baseball game. When you don't have a Duran, yes, you go to him over a Strom, over a Kerkering. You go back to Sanchez there. That's the difference, though. To put it in perspective on what you were lacking and what you now gained, and the advantage you now have is there was a world where it wasn't even a question. I think maybe you're blinded by the old way of thinking prior to the trade deadline, which was right then and there. Your best pitcher was Sanchez. No one in the bullpen is going to be able to be as good as what Sanchez was in that outing. But now you have that. You have that real option. But he was the star of the show, no doubt. He was really good, man. Really, really, really good. Let's go to Malcolm.
Good series win, Brodes. Thank you, Kyle Schwarber. I really enjoyed all 3 games this weekend. Sanchez, you were stellar. And I'm glad you didn't have to go 9 innings. Looks like Dombrowski got the reliever part correct. That Tarek Skubal, he's a beast. Detroit fans, they ought to love watching him every 5 days. Trey Turner is definitely slumping. You think we need a new leadoff hitter? Doesn't look like Dombrowski got it right with the outfielder bat down. Return on Bader not good so far. But my big takeaway from this is, what do you think about this, Brodes? Is Kirkering and Strom, are they upset about them going out and getting that closer?
Huh. That's an interesting question, and one that I didn't think about, because I almost went the other way. At the time of the trade, you get a really young Kirkering getting to experience what a Duran is like on a day-to-day basis, the way he works, the way his mindset is, just his ability and the way that he throws pitches. Maybe you can learn a little bit about grips, learn a little bit about just the repertoire and how he's able to get his velocity so high and the training regimen in the offseason, all that stuff. You can soak that in as a young bullpen piece. Kirkering's young. Orion Kirkering still has a long way to go in this league. So there's that. I was always thinking it would benefit. I don't know. Does Strom feel a certain type of way? Not at Dombrowski. Because if he's smart, and I think Matt Strom is a smart person, he sees the struggles of the pen and knew that was an area they needed to bolster up. But maybe he's so upset with himself that he is now in this position where he's not a reliable guy. Last year, he was looked at as one of the top dogs. He was a savior. He was a guy we were counting on. He was getting a reaction from the fan base when he's running out of the bullpen onto the mound where CBP was rocking and they were excited to see him. Now it's a huge question mark and you don't know how it's going to play out. And there could be just an in my feels type of thing where he's disappointed in himself that he's here, but he's soaking in it. It's an Alec Boehm type thing, but just not as much physically. You don't see it as much. Alec Boehm's an everyday third baseman, so you see it every day that he wears it. Matt Strom, maybe you don't see him wearing it as much, although that fair ball did hurt them on Saturday. That's interesting. I'm not there with Kirkering. I'm not there with, because they would. The thing is, the reason why we need, I don't know, because the reason why we're even trying to acquire a Duran is because Matt Strom was doing this all year. Kirkering was your most reliable piece more by default than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how much of this is, well, are they upset and that's why Matt Strom's giving up a couple of runs late in the game on Saturday? Or do we have to go target someone who can make a serious impact? Because that's who Matt Strom has been all year long. And I guess it's probably more of the latter than anything else. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a few guys are mad at themselves for even being in this predicament. But go scratch. Go figure it out. And yeah, it says a lot too. It doesn't really make you feel great when you have to go out and get a 40-year-old reliever in David Robertson and pay him a ton of big bucks. And he wasn't even doing good, by the way. What was his last stat line? David Robertson's third relief appearance with Lehigh Valley. 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk batter, and 30 pitches in an inning. Yikes. That was 2 days ago. Yikes. And I think I saw something where he wants to, or not he, but the team wants him to stay and pitch a little bit more down there. Not good. But don't worry, Dave Dombrowski will tell you his stuff looks great. It's unbelievable. What else is unbelievable is my lawn. And I can't thank the experts over at Green Lawn Fertilizing enough for the work that they've done. I knew nothing about lawn care. I knew nothing about paying attention to the front yard and the backyard, and I was a moron. But I sat down with the people that truly know, and the best part about it is they educated me. Green Lawn Fertilizing sat me down and explained, hey, Brodes, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a treatment plan laid out, and this is what the first treatment's going to do. And then once we wait a little bit for the first treatment to do its thing, this is what treatment 2 is going to do. And after treatment 2 does the work, treatment 3. And this is why treatment 4 is going to look this way. You're going to see some of the weeds killed, so it'll look, we're taking the weeds away, and then we're going to plant new grass. And then once we plant new grass, that's going to become luscious, and that's going to look lovely. And you're going to be in awe, and you're going to absolutely admire the greatness of what this will be when it's all said and done. And I'm watching the progression play out month after month after month, and they nailed it. They knocked it out of the park. Everything they said, it's perfectly aligning, and bada bing, bada boom. I wake up, I let my dogs out with my cup of coffee, and I'm just smiling. I am now a father of 2 and a homeowner that appreciates my lawn so much that I sit there and smile at it. And I can't thank Green Lawn Fertilizing enough for helping me out here, because I was clueless and I tried to DIY it, and guess how that went? It was miserable. It was terrible. Do not follow my footsteps. I'm here to help you. I'm a man of the people. I want you to get the best lawn care, the best lawn service, the best people to work with in the world. I want you to join the Green Lawn Fertilizing family, experts in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And they're so knowledgeable that they've created their own custom blend that helps your lawn. What if I told you they're giving away 50% off their first 2 treatments? I mean, they're giving it right to you. Here you go, take it. 50% off your first 2 treatments by signing up with code BRODES down below. The link will send you right to their website. Everything will be plugged in regards to the percentage off. Check it all out down below. I'm telling you, it changed my life. It changed my life. Green Lawn Fertilizing. Check it out now. All right, with that, I guess we'll wrap things up here. Yeah, we'll wrap things up here because I'm recording this on Monday morning, not Sunday night. I was exhausted. I told you, becoming a father of 2, it's kicking my ass. And then I'll dive deeper into this, but I was trying to get a new mailbox in out front, and I hit a wall. Physically taxing. I love you guys. You're the best. Talk to you on the next one. Go Phillies.